haven't always had a positive opinion of tattoos. I grew up in the South in a very religious household. My mom always told me that the Bible said that we shouldn't have tattoos. So I probably went throughout maybe at least until middle school, going throughout my life with the negative connotation of tattoos, seeing people with tattoos as dangerous or maybe not as educated.
So we did a survey asking about does having tattoos diminish one's credibility. We basically did our survey designed to see um, who would you hire based off appearance. And so 70% of the people in our survey said they would hire the people without tattoos, and 30% of the people said they would hire people with tattoos. On the survey, we broke it up into three rows. We wanted to eliminate gender and race. We asked the participants who they would choose out of the four. They had to choose three. We stated that the resumes of each person looked identical. They just had to choose on appearance and who they thought they would trust the most. Thought they would be the most educated for the job, even though the resumes were the same. So in this survey, we asked 20 people not in the military their opinion on who they would hire. And as you can see, this is the results. So looking further into our survey, we wanted to look closer on the women right now. And we did a chi-square test. And the test shows that it is below 0.05. And we see that the answer is 0.025, which means there's a big significance in a difference.
I got my first tattoo when I was 18. I got a really small one, and I got it with my older sister. I got another tattoo later on, but like less than a year later, and it was a bigger one that I got with one of my really good friends. And then I got another one on the back of my shoulder, which is also even bigger, which was also supposed to represent like family and my sisters. But I did get all of my tattoos in places where like you can't really see them, and I think that's because I don't want people to like make a judgment about me having tattoos or what my tattoos are unless I like am willing to show them that. So that's why I got them in places that you can't really see.
So we also used the chi-square test on white males regarding tattoos, and as you can see, out of 20 people, 13 people still said they wouldn't hire people with tattoos.
Well, for me, when it came to tattoos, I specifically got mine in a place where when I wear uniforms, I couldn't see it. So, like when I first got my sleeve, back when I was 15, I made sure that no one would be able to see it when I wore T-shirts, and the only time you can see it if I was wearing a tank top or if I took my shirt off. And I think a lot of it was so I could kind of keep that like professional image, which kind of goes back to the whole idea behind, if you can see the tattoo, it does kind of seem like maybe unprofessional. So, like, I still wanted to honor my.
Using the chi-square test on the black male survey, we found that out of 20 people, 6 people were hired with tattoos. There was no difference in the survey, but simply appearance. And we found that the answer is 0.074, which is not as significant as the white females.
So I have two tattoos. I think that it depends where the tattoos are located as to whether it diminishes credibility. I think that if you have tattoos on like your face, it can diminish your credibility. I don't really know why, but I just think it does. I think it kind of shows that you don't necessarily care.
I think that our society associates tattoos with kind of an edgier side of people. I think that people regularly associate it with criminals or people who are in jail or like rockers.
I think society is getting better about tattoos. I think that most people are pretty accepting now. Mostly what I see is like the older generation tends to question me more about my tattoos than anyone else.
I think that tattoos can diminish credibility in certain scenarios. So I think that society believes that as long as they are what they would call tasteful, or they are somewhere that isn't visible to the eye necessarily, that's somehow makes them more okay.
I don't think society is okay with face, neck tattoos or anything like that. We're not there at all. Unless you're in like a certain profession. So unless you are like if you're in the entertainment industry, I think it's acceptable to have face and neck tattoos. But anywhere else, you can't really have them. I think it's all about location and what the tattoo is. There's certain tattoos and that are associated with different cultures. I think that a big tattoo on your chest or a big sleeve of tattoos on your arm are perceived differently in white culture versus black culture.
But I think that if, for instance, somebody walked into an interview and they had no tattoos on their face, and another person walked into an interview and they have tattoos all over their face, I think that even if the person, just how society is, even if the person with the tattoos all over their face is more qualified for the job, and the person who isn't as qualified doesn't have the tattoos all over their face, I just am of the opinion that they would probably get the job. Person who doesn't, to clarify. I do not feel that tattoos are unprofessional. I think that it's an expression of yourself and the way that you would like to portray yourself to the outside world. It's just like if I would want to wear a black t-shirt versus a white t-shirt or whatever. I think that it's an expression of yourself and your appearance and how you choose to be. I think that it's obvious in a lot of professions in society that they have a more negative approach towards tattoos. I think that that's why there are rules and regulations in employee handbooks, actually, that specify whether or not an employee can have a tattoo showing, such as nurses. Even I'm in a very small office in my profession, and even in our handbook, we are not supposed to have any visible tattoos showing. And so I think that it's a more negative feel towards them. I think that, as I said before, that tattoos are an expression of yourself. But I think that that's where a whole other level of society comes in what you choose to put on yourself. I think that, it's obviously going to be taken differently if you have a tattoo that has, what people would consider a curse word across your arm versus, a flower across your arm. I think that it would definitely be taken differently depending upon what the tattoo is. Good.
So once I left home, like both my brother and I got tattoos. We got basically the same tattoos. All of our tattoos we share because they mean a lot to us. So the reason we did that because we actually met some people and realized that those tattoos didn't define those people. We understood that tattoos are basically just a way of expression. And what better way of expression is there than something that's permanent? Like people who wear clothes and change their hairstyles, they do certain things to express themselves. Like what is a better way to show people how you feel about something than to put it on you permanently? So my mom wasn't very happy about this, but my brother and I love everything that we have. Our tattoos show like our strength. They show people what's important to us, and it signifies the bond that we have. And I'll never regret the tattoos that we have.